soldiers entered into a woman's home, they took her husband and father-in-law into the yard and shot them there. In another, they dragged a man outside and fired repeatedly into his chest. Another survivor saw her husband and son tied up, beaten, and slaughtered as a soldier cut their throats. In a statement taken by the IIMM, a witness testified, "The militaries took my son. They brought him to the alley of a paddy field. 4 soldiers surrounded my son. He was killed in front of my own eyes. A soldier put bullets into his long gun and shot him in the temple. He died immediately." Those Rohingya who managed to reach a paddy field found no safety. The Tatmadaw apprehended them, separated the men and boys, tied their hands behind their backs, and shot them all. The third modus operandi of the Tatmadaw was to kill women, children, the elderly, and the disabled. The UN fact-finding mission determined that, quote, "a large number of women and children were victims of the attacks. Children, including infants and babies, were specifically targeted. Some were wrenched from their mothers' arms and thrown to the ground. Others were thrown into fires and burned alive." This finding is again corroborated by witness testimony and independent reports from reputable organizations. A witness, for example, testified to the IIMM how she saw the military gather hay to start a fire and threw some little children in the fire. She said, "I saw 4 or 5 of them being thrown. They were throwing them like a ball." Another survivor recalled how after the Tatmadaw had left, he found the bodies of his 2 nephews in the fields beheaded. One was 6 years old, the other was 9 years old. One woman recounted, as she was being kicked and punched, she felt her infant son ripped from her arms and saw one of the military men throw him on the ground. As soon as he hit the ground, he was shot and killed. Witness NJ is a victim from Chutpin. The court will hear directly from her next week. She has described how the military grabbed her 3-year-old son out of her arms, used a knife to stab him around the chest or stomach area, and some of his innards spilled out. The military then carried her son towards her neighbor's burning house. She recalled, "I could hear my son screaming and see him struggling and arching his back, trying to break free. I saw them throw my son into the burning house. I could no longer see my son or hear him screaming." As for the fate of the elderly and disabled people in Chutpin, one elderly woman described to the UN fact-finding mission the brutal murder of her 70-year-old brother. Quote, "Soldiers used rifle butts to beat my brother on the head, and I saw his brains come out." End quote. Other witnesses confirmed that the Tatmadaw captured and killed a man named Osman, who had both physical and mental disabilities. One witness recalled that soldiers told him to stand up, but he was not able to stand up due to his condition. The military then shot him in his chest. He died immediately. In a fourth familiar hallmark of the clearance operation, the UN fact-finding mission concluded that the Tatmadaw committed sexual violence, including rape, gang rape, sexual mutilation, and sexual humiliation against women and girls in Chutpin. This finding is fully corroborated by independent investigations and survivors' testimony. Allow me to mention a few. One survivor recalled the rape and murder of the wife of a local imam. I saw her taken from the house and raped by soldiers. After they raped her, they killed her. She was taken to the road, and one soldier cut her neck and cut her breasts off. In another instance, the Tatmadaw gang raped 4 women in the same family. They were blindfolded, dragged around the house, and beaten. After regaining consciousness, the mother found the naked bodies of her daughters lying on their backs, motionless. In the paddy field to which dozens of Rohingya fled, the Tatmadaw captured them, killed the men and boys, and raped the women. A group of 7 women was rounded up and taken into some bushes. When one woman resisted, she was shot dead. A soldier cut off one of her breasts and held it up as a warning to the others. One victim later reported, quote, 4 or 5 soldiers held me down and raped me. At the same school where the Tatmadaw slaughtered men and boys en masse, they also raped and gang raped women. As the victim told the IIMM, once the militaries took